In what is rapidly becoming a fun and recurring segment here on Gen X Grown Up, my buddy Paul, who does 3D printing and design of gadgets to improve our retro gaming toys, he's back again with a new thing to improve this cool My Arcade pole position racing player. We'll take a look at it right after this.
If you're a Gen X grown-up, this YouTube channel is just the beginning. Go beyond gaming with a casual and humorous take on movies, music, TV, tech, pop culture, and more. Hear the weekly Gen X Grown-Up podcast anywhere you like to listen or visit genxgrownup.com/pod.
Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John. I am a Gen X Grown Up. Thank you for taking the time to click on this quick video. If you've seen any of my previous entries working with these designed and printed gadgets by my buddy Paul, you know the kind of meticulous eye for detail that he has and his reputation for, making cool things for his customers in his shop. And so I've just had a blast working with him. I didn't know him before this channel. He was a viewer and we met through this channel, and now we text occasionally. What are you up to? What are you working on? And his latest gadget is an admittedly small item, but it's a quality of life for this pole position racing player that My Arcade came out with earlier in the year. And it doesn't have any problems. I love it. This is one of those enhancements that, look, Christmas is right around the corner as I record this. There's gonna be a lot of these under the tree. And I think most people will be perfectly happy with what's shipped. But if you're a super fan of pole position and you really like this unit and you want to take it the next level, take it up to 11 in terms of controller comfort, this might be for you. Let's go check it out. I have here then my Arcade pole position racing player from earlier this year, as well as this new little package I got from Paul we'll look at. And speaking of the racing player, if you missed my review, I'll put a link to it up in the corner. Spoiler alert, it's great. It's really nice. Probably the star of the show, in addition to this cool shifter, is the wheel, which is a full 360 spinner. And the way you play this pole position unit, it kind of begs to be held and steered with just your thumb, just with the one finger. And that works pretty well. However, this is not rubber. This is kind of a rubberized plastic that's molded in there, and so sometimes it can slip if you're turning really quickly. And that very little issue is what Paul has sought to solve with this new, very tiny add-on gadget specifically for this unit. Let's see. Looking at the new little box of goodies that I got from Paul, of course, so nicely and professionally packaged. Some bubble wrap. There's a little document manual thing in there. And this is probably his simplest design to date that I have seen. Let's get this other junk out of the way. And then inside, now this is a 4-pack. This accessory is sold as a single, a pair, or a 4-pack. These are the 4 available colors. This is the new pole position racing player rubberized steering wheel extender. So, as you can see here in the little attached instruction document, there's some diagrams that show you just snap it on that wheel and hold in the middle to lift it off so you don't damage anything. And it's really just a slight expansion of that wheel, but more importantly, it's the rubber that he's using. Look at this. The little gadget is 3D printed and designed so that it can snap onto the wheel. But more than just that, it's integrated a real rubber, almost like a washer or grommet around there that's really sticky. I mean, you can't feel what I'm feeling, of course, but I mean, it's really just kind of grabs your skin. So the idea is if I snap this onto the pole position, easier to steer with my thumb. So let's give it a try. Now I'm going to go with the red one because I think it's pretty snazzy looking and it really complements the bezel artwork here on this pole position. He says to install it, you just kind of hook around one side and then squeeze it on there. There we go, snaps right on. To remove it, when you're ready to remove it, just hold in the center and lift on the little wings on the side here so you don't damage your wheel. And off it comes, just like that. Okay, but we want to try it out. So I'm going to put it back on, and let's try some gameplay with this thing. So it's on there really sturdy. Let's fire it up and see what it's like to steer with one thumb now. Now I'm shooting this at kind of an odd angle. I'm not showing the whole screen. That's not the important part. You know what pole position looks like. I want to focus on the controls here, what it's like to use this rubberized steering wheel expander. So let's throw a token in. Here we go. Oh yeah, that thing is locked on. I mean, it's incremental improvement, right? But if you found that your thumb was slipping a little on that rubberized plastic wheel, This adds just a little bit of height and width and grip, most importantly. Oh, I hit that sign. And grip, most importantly, unlike my tires apparently in my little Formula One car. But yeah, you can see it's one of those things, it's much more difficult to explain than it is to feel. It's transparent. Like, you don't notice it being added on to the device, but it's definitely an enhancement in terms of control ability. Whoa! Qualified in 7th as I wrecked. It doesn't get a whole lot simpler than that, but in its simplicity of design is also its user-friendliness. It just works. It does what it's supposed to, give you a better grip on that little steering wheel. And I think they're like $9 or so for materials and everything in his Etsy shop. Of course, I'll link to that down in the description if you decide you need this for your pole position. Before we leave though, I have an update on one of his previous items. You might remember the grip handle for the CX78 Plus. Well, I predicted when I looked at that the first time that Paul was not going to be happy with where he had it and he was going to improve upon it. And yeah, I was right. Here's the CX78 Plus grip I showed you a few weeks ago. And as a reminder, here is the back edge and what it looks like. And in fact, in my video at the time, I said this. And there's a little tiny light there you almost can't see. That's the charging light. So when I plug it in, watch. Oh, that's a little bit obscured by this case. To Paul, that's a defect that he wants to fix. And I'm sure he will. In his store, he'll probably make some other versions, but it has zero impact on function. And my prediction was 100% correct. Paul, being the perfectionist that he is, he did go back and do a redesign, and here it is. So what he's done is he's kind of cut it a little lower. So here's the old one, and here's the new one. And the problem was just that little window for the wireless. So let's take and throw in a controller. Just fine. And then around back is where the change was made, and so it's entirely open now. No obstructions, and he just kind of notched this down. Yeah, I knew he would make a change to try to improve upon that. The little slightly hidden light was just more than he could handle, so he definitely went back. And this is the version that's now available in his shop if you go to order. So it's enhanced. So even after release of these things, he's continuing to go back and make a little improvements. So if you were interested in this one and that was bugging you like it was bugging Paul, that little window that was in the wrong spot, problem solved. Got my steering wheel expansion, got my updated grip, so I'm in business. But Paul and I are not done. Of course, links to all of his current products in the description of this video, but he and I have been collaborating on some new created projects that are going to be in his store in the new year. And I say collaborate. I throw ideas at Paul, and he goes into his lab and does all of his magic and makes something cool. I just go, what if this, Paul? And he does all the work. He's the magician. So keep an eye out. We will have new stuff coming in the new year from his design labs, and I think you're going to be excited. I already am, because one of them is on my wish list, so stick around. In the meantime, links to some previous entries from Paul's little workshop here and here. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this quick video. Can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.